The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, November 19, reveals that Diane Jenkins Abbott will walk into the Newman ranch house thinking she's got the upper hand. Diane and Jack Abbott accomplish their goal of saving Kyle Abbott from Victor Newman's clutches. So what's next? It's possible Diane will be ready to tell Victor that he's been deceived, and she may plan to take great pleasure in doing it. Diane might waltz in thinking that she'll drop that knowledge on Victor and gloat over her scheme with Jack. However, Diane might ultimately change her mind and decide to keep the charade going. Once Victor confirms he's forwarded the signed glissade papers, Diane might extend the scheme and try to destroy Jebut's competition from the inside. Of course, it's also possible Victor already knows about Jack and Diane's grand plan. Maybe Victor is duping Diane and Jack as well with his own twisted motives in mind. No matter how this plays out, Victor is really the one who's got the edge here. Our lie and our predictions hint that could lead to troubling news for the Abbotts soon enough. As for Diane, she'll prove her love for her family by making some sort of sacrifice. Though Jack won't find out until later during the week of November 18 to 22. Over with Daniel Romalotti Jr., he'll interrogate Nick Newman about Sharon Newman's arrest and how it all went down. Nick will be in a tight spot as Daniel pushes for updates on Sharon's guilty actions. Since Sharon wasn't in her right mind, part of Nick may still be sympathetic on some level. Daniel should find out about Sharon causing Heather Stevens' fatal outcome and then framing him for it, so he certainly won't have any sympathy for her. In fact, Daniel may be appalled over Nick still caring about Sharon at all, especially since she believes she caused Phyllis' car crash on top of everything else. However, it's Jordan and Ian Ward who have been pulling the strings. Ian and Jordan have forced Sharon down this wild path, so she's not as guilty as she appears to be. Jordan seemingly drove Phyllis off the road near Sharon's house, and it'll probably be revealed that she's the one who bashed Heather's head in too. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon will be ready to face the consequences of her crimes, but Ian and Jordan have committed the worst ones. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are 3 must-see moments next week. From November 18 to 22, 2024, fans can expect Alina Dawson to help an unconscious Phyllis Summers. Daniel Romalotti Jr. demands answers from Nick Newman. Plus, Ian Ward and Jordan target Sharon. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Phyllis Summers' fate. E&R spoilers for the week of November 18 reveal that one must-see moment centers on Phyllis. Fans know that Phyllis got into an accident while driving toward Sharon's house. It seems Sharon might have run Phyllis off the road, but the details are a bit murky. Even Sharon doesn't seem to be totally sure about what happened on the road that night. E&R spoilers, Alina Dawson's expertise. Nick and Chance Chancellor pulled Phyllis out of the wreckage. Now Phyllis is in the hospital but still hasn't regained consciousness. In a preview clip, Alina tries to advise Daniel and Summer Newman. At first, Alina tells Daniel and Summer that all they can do is wait. However, later in the week, Alina gives her expertise on how to best help Phyllis. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Daniel Romalotti Jr. demands answers. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 18 reveal that another must-see moment revolves around Daniel. Fans know that Sharon confessed to Nick, who is still in a bit of denial. Nick will call Chance, but will Sharon be arrested? Or could Nick and Chance decide to discreetly investigate without telling anyone that Sharon confessed? It is teased that later in the week, Daniel demands answers from Nick. Why would Daniel do that if Sharon gets arrested? It seems like there is another twist. E&R spoilers, Week of November 18, 2024. During the week of November 18, fans will also continue to see Ian and Jordan target Sharon. Meanwhile, Christine Blair and Michael Baldwin debate Sharon's innocence. It is also teased that Chance's investigation yields damaging evidence against Sharon. There is also the issue with Claire Grace Newman. The more Claire learns about her family, including Victor Newman, the easier Jordan will be able to get her claws in her. Could Jordan's return have Claire questioning things all over again? With Jordan working with Ian, there are bound to be a lot of fireworks up ahead, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of November 18, 2024? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers video for November 18 to 22 previews a week of sadness, surprises, and celebrations in Genoa City. Phyllis' family awaits news about her prognosis. Meanwhile, Ian and Jordan toast to their latest evil deed. Here's a glimpse of the drama ahead. Next on. Last week, Phyllis was involved in a car crash after receiving a text from Sharon. Luckily, Nick and Chance rescued Phyllis before flames engulfed her car. But now she's in the hospital fighting for her life, and things don't look good. This week, Summer and Daniel rush to their mother's bedside. "God, I can't believe this is happening," Summer cries. Daniel asks Alina if anything can be done for Phyllis, but the doctor offers little hope. Could this truly be the end for Phyllis? Elsewhere, Diane visits the Newman Ranch to discuss business with Victor. In exchange for control of Glissade, Diane agrees to fire her son Kyle per Victor's orders. Since Diane kept her end of the bargain, Victor does the same by transferring Glissade to her. Diane is suspicious of how quickly and easily Victor made the transfer. Knowing Victor, it's possible he might have another trick up his sleeve, especially if he learns of Diane and Jack's scheme. Ian and Jordan made shocking returns last week. The notorious villains have teamed up to wreak havoc, and their first targets were Phyllis and Sharon. While Phyllis and Sharon's loved ones worry, Ian and Jordan celebrate their new partnership. Whatever the duo has planned, it's clear that no one in Genoa City is safe as long as they're around. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of November 18 reveals Jordan Howard and Ian Ward will wreak havoc in Genoa City. Also coming up, Claire Grace will urge Kyle Abbott to forgive his parents. Plus, Daniel Romalotti will demand answers from Nick Newman, and Summer Newman will need to make a heartbreaking decision. I&R spoilers tease Daniel will be out for blood when he learns Sharon Newman was involved in Phyllis Summers' car accident. So he'll grill Nick about his ex-wife's actions. But will Nick also admit Sharon confessed to killing Heather Stevens? I&R Weekly Scoop. Kyle's not sure if he can ever forgive them. Speaking of Phyllis, Alina Dawson will give her family an update on the fiery redhead's condition. And rumor has it, the news will not be good. Later in the week, Summer will be faced with a difficult decision about her mom. But is Phyllis going to make it? Meanwhile, after learning his parents were playing him, Kyle will be understandably upset. However, he'll have a voice of reason by his side, his girlfriend Claire. She'll tell him perhaps he should make amends with Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott. But Kyle won't be so sure. Other Y&R spoilers tease Chance Chancellor will find damning evidence against Sharon. Plus, Victor Newman will announce Nikki Newman's new CEO role at Chancellor. And will Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott sleep together? Young and the Restless scoop. Are they coming for Victor and Nikki? Finally, Ian and Jordan will place a target directly on Sharon. It seems obvious that one or both of these villains killed Heather and set Sharon up for it. Then she foolishly did their dirty work by covering up the crime and framing Daniel for it. But what will they do to poor Sharon next? And once they've dealt with her, are Ian and Jordan coming after Nikki and Victor? Stay tuned. By now, everyone has seen the horrible car crash that landed Phyllis in the hospital and drove Sharon into a frenzied confession to Nick. But it's all left us with a whole lot more questions than answers. Are Ian and Jordan involved? If so, how did they time everything so perfectly in order to cause the wreck so that Sharon believed she was responsible for putting Phyllis in a coma? We don't have all the details yet, but we do know that what really went down at the scene of Red's car crash on Young and Restless might throw you for a loop. Thanks to Michelle Stafford sharing a glimpse from the set on social media, we know that her character was, in fact, alone in the car. She provided photo evidence ahead of the scene airing and showed herself in character with contusions apparent on her face. Not wanting to give away the story, she left it at that until after the crash was broadcast. That's when things got more interesting. One would think that filming a fiery tragedy would bring an ominous feeling to the set, particularly with pyrotechnics being deployed close to where the actors are working on a darkened stage. But it might surprise fans to know that although there was a hush-hush atmosphere, the cast and crew were not subdued to the point that they couldn't crack some jokes between takes. Stafford followed up her initial Instagram reel with another from the wrecked car that gave us a behind-the-scene look at the fiery scene surrounding the vehicle. "It's close," she whispers as the flames crackle. She also gave us a front-row seat to what her co-stars were doing outside of the vehicle in which she was trapped. The clip features Joshua Morrow and Connor Floyd, giving Stafford the old thumbs up with big smiles as she notes, "They're laughing out there." She jokes, "Do I trust them? Do I trust them to save me?" Of course, the guys can't resist getting up close and personal with their co-star as they await the next take. Morrow gives her the full face-in-the-window treatment before Stafford opens the car door and asks Floyd what he thinks of the fire. His hilarious response, "Fiery, nothing like stating the obvious." We next see Morrow with the suit jacket in hand that he will eventually use to bust the window out so his character can save his ex-wife from a fiery death. But the joking continues as he performs a little pantomime in anticipation of the big moment. As the hands keep hamming outside the car window, Stafford tells her camera, "I'm not gonna lie, it's a little daunting." We couldn't love this clip more. Check it out. As one would expect, the comment section brought out some young and restless stars to react. Lauralee Bell, who plays Phyllis' sworn enemy, Christine, was loving the rescue by Chance and Nick. She quipped, "Saved by those two. #NowHatshot. We can't disagree." Connor Floyd told Stafford, "I got you, girl." Brittany Sarpy, who has returned to treat Phyllis in the hospital as Elena, dropped a cry-laughing emoji, and Elizabeth Hendrickson, who we haven't seen on screen in ages as Chloe, must have been there for filming as she recalled thinking her co-star was FaceTiming someone from the wrecked car on set. Too funny. We all know that a coma can't keep Phyllis down for good, so we look forward to the revelations that will come out during November sweeps before she regains consciousness. And, of course, her reaction to it all. What do you think is going on here? Let us know in the comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers. The return of Jordan, a nightmare for Harrison and the Newmans. Geno City is no stranger to turmoil, but the reemergence of Jordan Blackwood has shaken its residents to their core. Her sinister motives and the web of destruction she spins now threaten not only the Newman family, but also the youngest and most innocent member of the Abbott family, Harrison Locke. For Harrison, the world of adults is often a mystery, but one thing is clear: the witch he claims to have seen outside his window is real, and she has returned with a vengeance. Jordan's obsession, revenge, and Claire's return. Jordan's ultimate goal is crystal clear: to reclaim Claire and exact her revenge on the Newman family, particularly Victor and Nikki. Her hatred for the Newmans runs deep, stemming from years of bitterness and perceived betrayals. To Jordan, Victor is the architect of her downfall, and Nikki represents the life Jordan believes she was denied. But her plans extend beyond revenge. Jordan sees Claire, a key figure in her twisted schemes, as a crucial piece of her puzzle. Claire's relationship with Kyle and their son Harrison makes her vulnerable, a vulnerability Jordan is eager to exploit. Harrison's terror, a child's fear. For young Harrison, life had returned to a sense of normalcy after the chaos that once consumed his family. But peace is fleeting in Genoa City, and Jordan's shadow now looms large over his innocent world. One night, as Harrison lies in bed, he glances out the window and freezes in terror. Standing in the dim moonlight is a figure he cannot forget, Jordan. Her face, twisted into a wicked grin, revels in his fear, her eyes gleaming with sinister delight. Harrison grabs his pillow and buries his face, willing the image to disappear. When he wakes the next morning, the memory is vivid and his fear is palpable. "I saw the witch last night," he whispers to Kyle and Claire during breakfast. "She was outside my window smiling." Kyle, ever the rational father, dismisses the claim as a bad dream. "Harrison, you've been watching too many scary movies," he reassures, ruffling his son's hair. Claire, however, is less certain. As a mother, she knows children's instincts often pick up on things adults miss. Harrison's terror feels too real, too raw to be dismissed outright. Claire's unease, a mother's intuition. Claire's gut tells her something isn't right. Harrison has no reason to fabricate such a story, and the detail in his account unsettles her. She decides to dig deeper, but her concerns are met with skepticism from Kyle. He's focused on the family's new beginning and sees no reason to let the specter of Jordan haunt their lives again. Yet Claire cannot shake the feeling that Harrison's vision was more than a dream. The possibility that Jordan has returned sends a chill down her spine. If true, it means the safety of their family, especially Harrison, is once again at risk. Jordan's strategy: fear as a weapon. Jordan's methods are as cruel as they are calculated. She knows the quickest way to destabilize her enemies is to attack where they are most vulnerable. For Kyle and Claire, that means targeting Harrison. By instilling fear in the boy, Jordan not only rattles their family dynamic, but also lays the groundwork for her ultimate plan to manipulate and control. Her appearance outside Harrison's window is no accident. It's a carefully orchestrated move designed to sow fear and confusion. Jordan thrives on chaos, and she plans to use Harrison's terror to her advantage. The past returns, Kyle and Claire face reality. Despite their initial disbelief, Kyle and Claire cannot ignore the signs for long. Claire's instincts prove correct when more unsettling events occur. Harrison begins to have recurring nightmares about the witch, and the family notices small, unexplainable disturbances around their home. A broken flower pot near Harrison's bedroom window, footsteps in the garden, the sense of being watched. Claire confronts Kyle, urging him to take the threat seriously. "Kyle, we can't pretend this isn't happening," she says, her voice trembling. "Harrison isn't making this up, and you know as well as I do who's behind this." Reluctantly, Kyle agrees. The possibility that Jordan has returned forces them to confront their worst fears. They resolve to protect Harrison at all costs, vowing never to let him fall into Jordan's clutches again. A plan to fight back. As Kyle and Claire come to terms with the gravity of the situation, they begin to devise a plan to protect their family. Their first step is to increase security around their home, installing cameras and hiring guards to ensure Jordan cannot get close to Harrison again. But they know these measures may not be enough. Claire reaches out to Newman, seeking her support and guidance. Nikki, who has faced countless adversaries in her life, is quick to take action. The young and the restless spoilers. Paul Williams returns, the hero Genoa City needs. Genoa City is no stranger to chaos, but the latest string of events involving Ian Ward and Jordan has left the city on edge. Their calculated moves and heinous crimes, including the murder of Heather, have sent shockwaves through the community, creating a tense and uncertain atmosphere. While the Genoa City Police Department scrambles to keep up, One thing has become abundantly clear. Chance Chancellor alone cannot handle this monumental threat. The city needs someone with unparalleled experience and resilience to confront such dangerous masterminds. The answer lies in the return of Paul Williams, a legendary detective whose history with Ian and Jordan makes him the ideal candidate to take them down. After much speculation, his comeback seems imminent, fueled in part by Eric Braden's push to bring his old friend back to the young and the restless. For fans and residents of Genoa City alike, Paul's return couldn't come at a more critical moment. Why did Ian and Jordan target Heather? Heather's murder is at the heart of the unfolding drama, but why was she targeted? For Ian and Jordan, the answer lies in their ruthless strategy to dismantle the social and emotional fabric of Genoa City. Heather was not just a lawyer or a member of the Newman family's extended network. She was a central figure who connected many of the city's most powerful individuals. Her relationships, particularly with Sharon, made her a prime target for those looking to create chaos. Ian and Jordan viewed Heather as a cornerstone, a pillar holding together various alliances and power structures in Genoa City. By eliminating her, they aimed to destabilize the people she was closest to, forcing them into vulnerable positions. Sharon, too, became ensnared in their plot, not just because of her connection to Heather, but also because of her own pivotal role in the city's dynamics. For Ian and Jordan, it wasn't personal, it was strategic. Yet their actions have ignited a war far larger than they anticipated. A city under siege, Ian and Jordan's arrogance. Ian and Jordan's confidence in their ability to remain undetected has been their Achilles heel. Believing that no one in Genoa City would notice their presence, they have carried out their plans with an air of invincibility. But the police, led by a determined force quietly monitoring their every move, are far from oblivious. What Ian and Jordan fail to realize is that their reputation precedes them, and their alliance has raised alarms even in the shadows. The murder of Heather has only intensified the scrutiny, and the police are working tirelessly to piece together the evidence. However, their efforts have revealed a glaring weakness. The current team, including Chance Chancellor, lacks the expertise to outwit criminals as cunning and dangerous as Ian and Jordan. Paul Williams, the man for the job. Enter Paul Williams, the seasoned detective who has faced off against Ian Ward in the past and lived to tell the tale. Paul's understanding of Ian's psyche and his long history with Genoa City's most notorious criminals make him the perfect person to lead this investigation. His absence has been felt deeply, and fans of the young and the restless have long awaited his return. Now, with Eric Braden championing Paul's comeback, the stage is set for his re-entry into the fray. Paul's return is not just about solving the case, it's about restoring order to a city in turmoil. His mission will include clearing the names of those wrongfully accused, like Sharon, and uncovering the true extent of Ian and Jordan's plans. Unlike Chance, Paul has the experience, the instincts, and the gravitas to take on criminals of this caliber. The battle ahead, can Paul prevail? Paul's return comes with its own set of challenges. Ian and Jordan are not ordinary criminals. They are strategic, calculating, and willing to go to any lengths to achieve their goals. Their alliance is built on mutual intelligence and a shared desire to bring Genoa City to its knees. For Paul, this means facing a level of danger that even he may find daunting. But Paul has something Ian and Jordan lack: the trust and support of the community. His dedication to justice and his history of standing up for what's right give him an edge that even the most devious criminals can't counter. Moreover, his personal investment in the case, particularly in clearing Sharon's name, will drive him to pursue the truth with unwavering determination. Chance's limitations, a lesson in leadership. Chance Chancellor has been a valuable member of the Genoa City Police Department, but this case has highlighted his limitations. While he has the courage and the will to protect the city, His inexperience with high-level criminals like Ian and Jordan leaves him at a disadvantage. This is not a battle that can be won with brute force or conventional tactics. It requires the kind of insight and strategic thinking that only someone like Paul can provide. The future of Genoa City. As the pieces of this intricate puzzle fall into place, Genoa City finds itself at a tipping point. Ian and Jordan's plans have already claimed one life and threatened to destroy countless others. But with Paul Williams back on the case, hope is on the horizon. His return promises not just justice for Heather, but also a chance to restore the city's faith in its ability to overcome even the darkest of threats. The battle between good and evil in Genoa City is far from over, but one thing is certain: with Paul Williams leading the charge, Ian and Jordan may finally meet their match. The question now is not whether justice will be served, but how far Paul is willing to go to protect the people and the city he loves. Fans of The Young and the Restless are in for an unforgettable chapter as the stakes reach new heights and the heroes of Genoa City rise to face their greatest challenge yet. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Sharon Newman's confession does not feel like the climax. Instead, it appears to be the start of a reveal. YLs have the extraordinary Colleen Zink and Ray Wise return to the cast in the same scene while Phyllis Summers' car crash played out. Seeing Jordan enter a hotel room and Ian inside was a double shot of awesome. More circumstantial evidence indicates Sharon will eventually be exonerated for all coming charges, but not just yet. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Chance Chancellor follows the evidence. Chance Chancellor had a mentor. His name was Ray Rosales, and he was Sharon's husband. Ray's death, with Villasuso's cast exit still inexplicable, if not indefensible, hit Sharon and Chance hard. They bonded after his tragic death in a car accident. It would have been natural for Sharon's mind to project Ray helping her in the woods after her crash, but that didn't happen. Instead, Cameron Kirsten, Nick Newman, and Cassie Newman. Next, she'll see Chance arresting her on the strong suspicion of committing murder and the crimes that followed. The evidence will be led by Sharon believing she's guilty. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Phyllis Summers forced to admit mistake. Phyllis is wrong about Sharon. Daniel Romalotti rejected his mother's seeming wild theory until recently, and will be forced to think that Phyllis was right. However, once Phyllis recovers and awakens, she will be forced to admit the truth. Sharon did not kill Heather Stevens, did not frame Daniel, and did not intentionally hit her car. The reason for the blackouts Sharon has been experiencing is yet to be explained. They could be purely psychologically based or involve unused or misused medication. But there is another darker and now plausible alternative. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan Howard and Ian Ward are the puppet masters. The links between Zink's recent villain and Wise's bad guy, who appeared a decade ago, are plentiful. They enjoy inflicting pain on their invented enemies. The common target is the Newman family, with Victor being Jordan's obsession and Nikki still serving as the object of Ian's fixed mind. So, viewers must learn how Sharon was woven into this twisted blanket, assuming Jordan and Ian are the puppet masters behind her actions. I and R's 13,000th episode was celebrated by a wedding at the reimagined Newman Ranch main house. But it was soon followed by the reappearance of two of this grand soap opera's greatest warped, wicked wretches, propelling a thrilling arc into a stratospheric ride. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y and R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Lucy Romalotti is on tour with Danny Romalotti. Daniel Romalotti, Jr. wanted to protect Lucy from the investigation fallout. Could Lucy learn from Faith Newman about Sharon Newman's? If so, Lucy just might escape Danny's tour and end up in Genoa City, ready to confront her mother's killer. Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Lucy Romalotti shipped off. Y&R spoilers reveal that Lucy was still in Genoa City when Heather Stevens' body was recovered from the river. Once Chance Chancellor asked Daniel to search the penthouse with forensics, Lucy was shipped off. Lucy wanted to stay in Genoa City to support Daniel and to find the outcome of the murder investigation. However, Daniel felt it was best if Lucy was away from all the drama. Y&R spoilers. Daniel Romalotti jurors arrest. After Lucy was sent to go on tour with Danny, Chance arrested Daniel. Then, Heather's funeral arrived. One would think Daniel would bring Lucy back to say goodbye to her mother, but that didn't happen. People in Genoa City kept saying it's a good thing Lucy wasn't around to see Daniel get arrested. However, Lucy could make an unexpected return. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Newman's confession. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that on Monday, November 18, 2024, Sharon confesses to killing Heather to Nick Newman. Nick still seems to be in a bit of denial. However, Nick did call Chance and told Faith the news. Faith was screaming and sobbing. Faith can't believe it's not true. Y&R spoilers. Great escape. Even though Sharon didn't want Faith to communicate with Lucy, she did it anyway. Faith wanted Lucy to know she was thinking of her after Heather's murder. Faith was also kind enough to console Lucy when running into her at the coffee house. So it's only natural to assume that Faith might be texting with Lucy all this time. Faith might not be giving Lucy all the updates. However, after Sharon's confession, Faith might feel compelled to reach out to Lucy. Lucy has already shown to be quite impulsive, just like her grandmother Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Once Lucy learns about Sharon's confession and Phyllis' crash, she could do something impulsive. I could see Lucy running away, even stealing a car, and driving to Genoa City to confront Sharon. It could be quite dangerous, but it could also give the talented young actress some more screen time. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jordan is a free woman, but she obviously didn't score that freedom legitimately. Victor Newman made sure Jordan was locked away in a maximum security prison facility, but she obviously escaped somehow anyway. Of course, Victor understands exactly what Jordan is capable of, so he's no doubt monitoring the situation from afar. If Victor knew Jordan was on the loose, he'd be taking precautions with his family and sending his men out to find Jordan ASAP. Since Victor has been far more worried about things like his Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, vendetta, and acquiring Chancellor, Jordan hasn't been at the forefront of his mind. It's obvious that Victor has no idea that Jordan is a fugitive. It was a huge news story the last time Jordan escaped, since there was a massive prison fire and multiple missing inmates. Jordan couldn't do anything like that again, or else she'd risk tipping Victor off to her plans. Ian Ward has pulled off his fair share of escape plots, so it seems likely he helped break Jordan out. How did Ian avoid alerting Victor to the fact that Jordan was no longer in her cell? It's possible that Ian got an imposter to pretend to be Jordan. Perhaps Ian was able to find a Jordan lookalike and swap her in without anyone noticing. After all, Victor once found Jack's doppelganger, Marco Anicelli, in a Peruvian prison. It's not a stretch to think Ian might have found someone who looked just like Jordan, or maybe she had plastic surgery to resemble her. Whatever the case, Ian might have threatened this Jordan doppelganger's family, or offered a ton of money to make sure their loved ones were set for life. There would have been ways to convince a potential lookalike to take Jordan's place. In other words, it may appear to Victor and the prison staff that Jordan is still behind bars as usual. There'd be no reason for anyone to suspect the person pretending to be Jordan is anyone but the real deal. Naturally, that could change down the road and leave Victor furious over an unsettling discovery. If Victor finds out there is a doppelganger serving prison time in Jordan's place, he'll hit the roof and fear for his family's safety. Our Vi and our predictions point to Jordan's escape sending shockwaves sooner or later, so stick with us for updates on all the pandemonium. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Jordan and Ian's alliance will bring even more drama as this storyline heats up. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Jordan is back to wreak more havoc, and this time she's got Ian Ward by her side to help cause double the chaos. Ian and Jordan are obviously a pretty dangerous duo, so they'll continue to cause trouble all over town. Of course, Jordan has been sneaking out of their motel room to do dirty work, so she's taking a risk every time she goes out into the world. Jordan is supposed to be locked up at a maximum security prison facility, but Ian probably helped break her out. Victor Newman seemingly doesn't know Jordan has escaped, so he still thinks his loved ones are safe at this point. Unfortunately, no one is safe at all with Jordan and Ian on the loose. Since Jordan has returned, we should consider the possibility that someone might catch a glimpse of her somewhere, someone like Harrison Abbott. Following Harrison's kidnapping crisis, Y and R fans will recall that he was terrified of the witch who held him hostage. Harrison was traumatized by the whole ordeal, so it was hard for him to move past what happened. In the aftermath of Harrison's abduction, he panicked when he saw a woman who looked like Jordan at the park. It wasn't the real Jordan, so it was just a case of Harrison being on edge and overly paranoid. What happens if Harrison suddenly sees Jordan after all this time? Harrison might flip out and tell Claire that the witch is back, but she may think his mind is playing tricks on him again. It's easy to imagine this sparking some concerns about Harrison and the possibility that something has triggered his trauma. Claire would want to give Kyle Abbott updates on the situation, so Claire, Kyle, and even Summer Newman might promise Harrison that Jordan is still locked up tight. However, Claire might offer to have Victor Newman double-check to be sure if it'd make Harrison feel better. That could lead to a shocking discovery if that's how Jordan's escape gets exposed. Regardless, it makes sense to have Harrison see Jordan somewhere and bring it to Claire's attention since he's done it before. It wasn't real when Harrison did it earlier this year, but it could be a genuine fugitive Jordan sighting now. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Harrison might find himself in panic mode once more, so we'll bring you predictions on all the stunning Jordan news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers shock the uncertain fate of Phyllis Summers, a turning point for the Young and the Restless. Phyllis Summers has long been a cornerstone of the Young and the Restless, a dynamic and polarizing character whose determination and cunning intelligence have captivated viewers for decades. But the recent accident that left her in a vegetative state has shaken Genoa City and the audience to its core. With doctors declaring that Phyllis may never regain consciousness, the storyline has taken a devastating turn, raising questions about the direction of the show and the fates of its central characters. Phyllis Summers, A Life in Limbo. The tragic accident, caused by Sharon Newman, has left Phyllis with catastrophic brain injuries. The prognosis is grim. Medical professionals assert that her condition is unlikely to improve, effectively robbing her of her vibrant personality and leaving her loved ones in an agonizing limbo. For many, this is a fate worse than death. Phyllis's family and friends are struggling to cope with the reality of her condition. Daniel Romalotti, her son, and Lucy, her granddaughter, have been vocal in their anguish, calling for justice and accountability. To them, Phyllis's current state feels like a living death, and the weight of Sharon's actions grows heavier by the day. Sharon Newman, the weight of responsibility. Sharon's role in the accident has thrust her into the spotlight, and not in a favorable way. The circumstances surrounding the crash, combined with Sharon's history of questionable decisions, have painted her as the antagonist in this tragedy. While she has expressed remorse, many in Genoa City and the audience feel that her punishment does not fit the gravity of her actions. Should Sharon be held legally accountable for what happened to Phyllis? And more importantly, how does Sharon reconcile her guilt with the life she continues to live, while Phyllis's existence hangs in the balance? These are questions that demand answers, but so far, the storyline has left Sharon's ultimate fate ambiguous, frustrating viewers who crave justice. A misstep in the writing. The decision to effectively write off Phyllis Summers has not sat well with fans. Her character is not just a staple of the show, but also a driving force behind many of its most compelling storylines. From her tumultuous relationships to her relentless pursuit of power, Phyllis has always been a character who sparks intrigue and drama. Removing her from the canvas, whether through death or indefinite incapacitation, feels like a miscalculation. Many fans argue that this storyline squanders Phyllis's potential for a dramatic comeback. Imagine the possibilities if Phyllis were to regain consciousness, bent on vengeance against Sharon for destroying her life. Such a plot would not only satisfy fans eager for retribution, but also provide fertile ground for new conflicts and alliances within Genoa City. Michael Stafford's departure, a farewell to Phyllis. Adding fuel to the fire is the rumor that Michael Stafford, the actress who portrays Phyllis, is stepping away from the show. If true, this could explain the decision to sideline the character, but it doesn't make it any less painful for fans who have invested in Phyllis's journey over the years. A temporary hiatus could be a way to keep the door open for her return, but many worry that this is the end of an era. The loss of a character as impactful as Phyllis Summers is a blow to the show's dynamic. Her absence creates a void that will be difficult to fill and raises questions about the creative direction of the young and the restless moving forward. Justice for Phyllis. What about Sharon? One of the most contentious aspects of this storyline is the lack of meaningful consequences for Sharon Newman. While Sharon has shown remorse for her actions, remorse alone does not equate to justice. Fans are clamoring for accountability, whether it be through legal ramifications, public humiliation, or a personal reckoning that forces Sharon to confront the full weight of her choices. Sharon's survival and freedom stand in stark contrast to Phyllis's tragic fate, creating a sense of imbalance in the storyline. Many feel that Sharon's punishment, or lack thereof, undermines the gravity of what has happened and diminishes the impact of Phyllis's character arc. A missed opportunity for drama. The current trajectory of this storyline feels like a missed opportunity to deepen the drama and stakes in Genoa City. Imagine a scenario where Phyllis miraculously awakens, her memories intact, and embarks on a relentless campaign to take Sharon down. The tension, the confrontations, and the ripple effects throughout the community would make for compelling television. Alternatively, if Phyllis were to succumb to her injuries, her death could become a rallying cry for her loved ones to seek justice. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Jordan is back to wreak more havoc, and this time she's got Ian Ward by her side to help cause double the chaos. Ian and Jordan are obviously a pretty dangerous duo, so they'll continue to cause trouble all over town. Of course, Jordan has been sneaking out of their motel room to do dirty work, so she's taking a risk every time she goes out into the world. Jordan is supposed to be locked up at a maximum security prison facility, but Ian probably helped break her out. Victor Newman seemingly doesn't know Jordan has escaped, so he still thinks his loved ones are safe at this point. Unfortunately, no one is safe at all with Jordan and Ian on the loose. Since Jordan has returned, we should consider the possibility that someone might catch a glimpse of her somewhere. Someone like Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell. Following Harrison's kidnapping crisis, Y&R fans will recall that he was terrified of the witch who held him hostage. Harrison was traumatized by the whole ordeal, so it was hard for him to move past what happened. In the aftermath of Harrison's abduction, he panicked when he saw a woman who looked like Jordan at the park. It wasn't the real Jordan, so it was just a case of Harrison being on edge and overly paranoid. What happens if Harrison suddenly sees Jordan after all this time? Harrison might flip out and tell Claire that the witch is back, but she may think his mind is playing tricks on him again. It's easy to imagine this sparking some concerns about Harrison and the possibility that something has triggered his trauma. Claire would want to give Kyle Abbott updates on the situation, so Claire, Kyle, and even Summer Newman might promise Harrison that Jordan is still locked up tight. However, Claire might offer to have Victor Newman double-check to be sure if it'd make Harrison feel better. That could lead to a shocking discovery if that's how Jordan's escape gets exposed. Regardless, it makes sense to have Harrison see Jordan somewhere and bring it to Claire's attention since he's done it before. It wasn't real when Harrison did it earlier this year, but it could be a genuine fugitive Jordan sighting now. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Harrison might find himself in panic mode once more, so we'll bring you predictions on all the stunning Jordan news ahead. It's where you want to be for sizzling Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your one-stop Y and R source. We're just here to state the obvious, and that is the Young and the Restless star Jess Walton is by far one of the classiest stars on daytime television. Here's what you never knew about Y and R star Jess Walton. The actress, who is best known for her role as Jill Chancellor, recently opened up to Soap Opera Digest about some of her likes and her dislikes, and a few things that her fans probably didn't already know about her. In other words, Jess has opened up like she's never opened up before. When asked if she had any limitations with what kind of business she could open, Jess answered with, "I love dogs, so it would have to be something that's about rescuing or placing dogs, but I'd have to do a lot of background checks on people." Jess also admitted that she's a very organized person. She said, "Very. I love organizing. It makes me feel good." But she also admitted that she does have a stupid human trick, like most of us do. She said, "I'm a great screamer. It started when I was young, like 8, and my girlfriends, and I liked horror movies. I found that I could scream really well, and that impressed everybody." Now, when asked what kind of food truck she would love to have parked outside of her house, Jess said, "I love Indian food. I haven't yet found a place where I live in Oregon, so having a food truck that serves Indian food parked outside of my house would be wonderful." The Young and the Restless spoilers. What's next in Genoa City? Jess also said that if she had to choose a favorite room in her house, it would be her living room. She said, "That's where my dogs and I hang out mostly." You have to love Jess Walton for being so down to earth, right? It's no wonder so many The Young and the Restless fans love her both on and off screen. In the meantime, let us know what you think by leaving us a line with your thoughts in our comment section below. The Young and the Restless airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times.